Howdy mates, good morning. How are we all doing today? It is Sunday, January 22nd, 2023, and today I'm actually checking out a new particular preserve that I have never been to before. At least I've been close to it, just never actually took the time to explore it. So where we're at is known as the Corkscrew Bird Rookery swamp, which actually spans as a 12-mile loop in which you get to see a variety of different habitats, especially swamps, mostly. So, for the moment, I'm kind of like in the first, sixth of it. I'm kind of like 2 miles in. But this trail traverses through mostly swamps and little bits of marshes. And the first question that comes to mind is, you heard me mention the word crew. What exactly is that? Well, for those not familiar, crew is actually it's an acronym for a nonprofit organization that started back in 1989. It stands for the Corkscrew Regional Ecosystem Watershed. And the portion of the watershed that we're at is just a small parcel of it. Essentially, the lands surrounding the watershed cover as much as 60,000 acres, which is quite a lot of land. Just, 60,000, that's wow. But the thing is, they do have a partnership with the Southwest Florida Water Management District. And essentially, this part of the watershed cannot be touched whatsoever. It can't be developed on, none of the sort. And so they've made recreational opportunity for us, people like me, and even you, to just have a moment and enjoy what nature really has to provide. So basically, perfect. Here we go. That tells you the loop right here. So basically, I'm kind of like in the beginning portion of it, kind of like the first mile and a half so far. And I definitely wanted to give myself plenty of time, just because this is one of my first times here. And, I had a chance to read up a bit further. And yeah, these trails are totally accessible to the public. So in a sense, I'm kind of beating myself in the head for not discovering all of this sooner. I knew that they had protected land, but I never really knew that you could actually go to these trails on your own. I had no idea. So the next question that comes to mind is, what exactly does a watershed refer to? Well, think of it this way. A watershed is essentially a reservoir that is underground. But in this case, with Florida, given how flat the land is, mostly, the watershed is not that much far below ground from where I'm standing. So in other words, Florida generally has a very high water table. Unlike, you go somewhere further up north, say in Ohio, a watershed could be as deep as 100 feet below surface. But unlike Florida, it could only be maybe just a few feet. So that being said, watersheds, they're our water source. Just about anywhere that you walk, you're on top of a watershed. And so watersheds are primarily responsible for naturally filtering our water, whether it be from wastewater or even stormwater. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Watersheds are crucial to forming rivers. So, a watershed is kind of similar to a cup. Once it gets full, nearly to its full capacity, there's a term called discharge, where water is then released. But while that discharge is happening, in the form of streams, of course you're going to have rain events. And in the process of rain happening, the water's going to percolate through the ground and it will meet up with the watershed. And that is also known as recharge. But oftentimes these types of processes take time. It's not something that you can do in just one day. This whole process that I speak of, it could take weeks, months. But essentially, the Corkscrew watershed is what supplies the majority of South Florida's population. And so the fact that this watershed is protected is absolutely amazing. It's just so cool to be out here. I didn't even know that you could walk on these trails. Didn't even know it was public. So I'm just totally in awe right now. But anyway, if you haven't been, I would recommend, because even if it's just for a short little hike, you already get to see so much. I mean, there were a couple of points already prior to me filming that alligators were just out basking. So it's really nice to see a part of South Florida that is untouched. But that being said, due to how high the water table is, it's very subject to experiencing pollution. Whether it be from phosphate mining or even saltwater intrusion. And you got to figure most of Florida's soil is sandy. So it's very easy for leaching nutrients and even polluted water to pass through, to enter into a watershed. So, all right. Take care, you guys. Thanks for watching. And Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.